What's up? It's only me, Woosha Richard. How you doing, guys? I'm just laying in this park here with a t-shirt to rest on for a pillow in a bag, laying on this bench, and I'm looking up at the moon, up there, you know, and it's a nice quiet evening. I'm doing you an HD video here. I'm in the park, excuse me. Look at those beautiful lights there. Beautiful lights on the buildings. Displays what they have. Anyway, I thought I'd just talk to you guys for a minute. Alright, so I want to say hi and welcome. Okay, it's me, Woosha Richard, and we're here in this park. Okay, so you got some scenery here, you got the lights behind me on the buildings. It's going to get darker, but I'm filming this in HD, and I thought what I would do is I'll just have a little talk with you guys. We'll try and get some different angles too. Okay, so most of you know that, the people that know me online, you know that I've been living in China for many years, but I originally come from UK, from London in England, and sometimes places change, things change, and not always for the better. But it was hard, as I remember back then, living in the UK and working, and everybody's got their story based on their family situation, their work situation, their educational background, all that, whatever it is. But one thing I do remember seeing, two things I remember seeing was, first of all, myself. Yeah, so firstly, memories. Okay, I have memories of my years back in England, in the UK, in London, working, as all people should really, have to do. Most people in society will work a job of some kind, try to survive. But I have nightmares to this day, absolute nightmares from the hell that I had to go through. People are different, that's all I can say, and I was going through a hard time, and none of the jobs I worked in were, you may argue that they're not the hardest jobs, but I've worked in various jobs that were just exhausting, mentally, physically, plus I was abused in all of the jobs I worked at. I was bullied and picked on by people that I worked for, and not only that, but the money just wasn't enough really to support myself. I mean, as in really wasn't enough to support myself. Today, here we are 13 years on, and I've been living in China, and it's been a different story. I've been able to support myself. I'm not a lazy person by all means. I'm able to do different kinds of jobs, but if that money's not literally enough to survive on, you've got no chance in hell. So I'm not telling you a sob story here, but what I am going to say is this. I've seen a few videos online, and some of those videos that I've seen online remind me of what I used to see on a daily basis, but it's like more in your face, and that is the idea of poverty, homelessness. And what I see is a lot of people of different races. Yes, it's not a race thing. It's not a race thing. I mean, England and London is very multicultural anyway. But what I did see is a lot of British, white British people, actually homeless. Now, I'm not gonna try and make some excuses up and say that everybody's hardworking people, they're just privileged, and there are lazy people. Okay, that just don't want to work, and there's people that just sit there and just make a few bucks and then squander it on some alcohol or some crap or drugs. Okay, and I'm not being judgmental of people, but I'm saying, okay, but the thing is, there are a lot of people that really have had a tough time growing up, and they have to live on the streets. And I remember walking to and from work on a daily basis, and not only was I exhausted and stuff, and then for a time, obviously, for a good many years, I was living at home with my mum, obviously, and my family, But the thing is, I always used to see these homeless people, and I used to think that would be so terrible to be homeless. I would hate to be homeless. And I didn't mean to be like a bum. I don't want to be seen as a bum or anything, like living here in China, but the thing is, that's what you actually see. People from different situations. It's not about saying everybody's privileged or everybody's lazy or everybody's hardworking or everybody's got a good foundation. Everybody should work hard and everybody should try their best to, support themselves and their family. But the thing is, it's true what you see. When I was in the UK, when I was living in the UK, I would constantly see people coming from different countries and different ethnic backgrounds, and they were always saying that they came to England, they came to London to make a better life for themselves, and yet still they felt that they were treated differently. What's the word? They were not treated equally, and it was hard for them, and they were working in crappy jobs and getting low pay. But then there were other people too that saw me like, why was it that I couldn't seem to get such a great job? Because they've heard stories about how great the UK was in London, but they didn't imagine that a white British person like myself, even if you didn't have the best education, like me, let's say, but they would say, you'd still be able to find some way. And where there's a will, there's a way. And some of these places where people are coming from are from hard-working backgrounds, where they've had to fight to survive and struggle, and they look at things like, they can't imagine that because they've got this strong will and desire. If you're willing to survive, you can do it. And it's like not everybody has the cushy luxury of living in a developed country where obviously certain things are better in certain countries, obviously in cities. But look at this beautiful scenery behind me. I love looking at the lights on the buildings. Yeah, very nice at this time of the evening. So I'm not having a moan, but I'm just saying, just reflecting on certain things now. My journey has been a survival journey. I've seen a lot of foreigners from all over the world. Okay, people I've actually worked with, people I've seen. There are people from different backgrounds. I don't know all of their stories in and out to such a degree, but there's a lot of people from America, from England, from all over Europe and Asia and Africa, and people that are coming here. Lots of people that I've met, lots and lots that are coming here to China because they've had to travel and they're trying to pursue some kind of better life or some kind of platform for themselves or life. Whether it's through studying or working here, it shows that people travel all across the world to different countries to try to find what fits rightly for them. You do get people that are coming from richer families or richer countries, and they've got a better upbringing, and they just got the money to travel around the world, and they just want to do things, and they're lucky to do so. And there's some people that are just lazy and that, But for me and my situation, I've had a very hard time, and you can't imagine what I've had to go through. It's not the hardest situation, but to fight and struggle and to survive. Now, when I was looking at those videos and documentaries online about homelessness in the UK and in London in particular, where I come from, it was so frightening. Some of these people were well-spoken people. They were obviously intelligent. They weren't all, let's say, high on drugs. A lot of them were, sadly, but I'm just saying, there are people there that have just been basically let down by the country, as how I see it. And I feel it's getting harder and harder with that many people in the small, London, UK. But the thing I'm trying to say is, some countries sometimes can really let down their people, their own people, whatever race. But I'm saying nationality-wise, I'm a British person. I've got a British passport, and I've had to move all across the world to try to make a survival away from myself. But I never complain. I'm happy living here, and I never complain about things because I find that everybody is different in the world anyway, and you find your way in life. You can't always blame the situation. But the reality is, it really can be harder for, some people in certain situations to make a living. So I saw this video, I've seen a couple of videos where people have been talking about homelessness and how some people have been living rough, and there's nowhere for them to go, and it's hard for them to find food. Now, I don't even know how these people survive. What do? Get food from the rubbish bins, the trash can? What do? It's just so scary. You know, I know there's places that hand out food and stuff, but I think it's just terrifying. It really is awful. And people get attacked. Homeless people attacking other homeless people. Sometimes non-homeless people attacking homeless people. It's just scary stuff. I've heard stories of people getting their stuff robbed off of them, being peed on, as in pissed on in the night, having their sleeping bags set on fire while they were sleeping in them. It's a scary, scary world. They're being kicked out of doorways and shelters wherever they could find a shelter or somewhere to sleep. They've been kicked out by the police. They're not welcome. When you're talking about people that are hardworking, or people that are decent people, and people that have put in a life, or they're willing to work, and they're people of that country, that should not be going on. The country should be doing something to protect its own people and putting them first in that respect. Yes, planet Earth needs to put all people first. And yes, I believe another big thing is, of course, all people should treat each other fairly, you know, and try to be understanding of each other. But definitely, there's some issues here, and I think something needs to be done. But there's got to be more ways that countries can use their money on resources more. There's got to be things we can do for homeless people. There's got to be things that... I know I can talk, but I'm just saying, like, people should, in my opinion, try to... You know, the country should try to find a way of, you know, taking care of its people. Like, the family should take care of its family members, you know, at home. And the home should feel safe. So, you know, there's homeless people all over the world, obviously, and again in China too. Even here, you're going to get a lot of that. You don't see them everywhere, but you're going to see them. But, you know, I don't know. Some places, some countries are more rough and more in poverty and more crime-ridden. Some countries are more safer with stricter laws. They do have some strong laws in China here, and they do have laws, you know, in Japan. Obviously, Japan seems a very safe place. I've never been to Japan. But I've lived in China for all these years, and I chose to live here. But it's partly because I'm happy here, but it's partly because of, it's really mainly because of survival. I don't want to say that, because I'm the kind of person that will live in a simple life. I don't mind living in a quiet little home, a little apartment or something by myself, as long as I'm safe. I don't mind working. Nobody wants to bust their ass working too hard, you know, work yourself out like that. But you need to do something, right, to make a living. I'm not the kind of person who's fussy, but as such. But yeah, everybody has the right to have a roof over their head, have food, you know, clothes, and fair enough. If I've got a basic, simple life with a computer, with the internet and things, I'm set. That's fine, you know. So, but yeah, violence against homeless people is really bad, and I think we should think about things like this sometimes. And next time you're wasting money or moaning about your money, think about certain things, you know. And the government and people need to do something to take care of their people. Anyway, I mean, what's that about? People of a certain nationality having to run from their own country and go to another place to survive. And if the whole world's like that, then what's that about? People running all over the world. And now they're talking about trying to find planets in the universe and places we can inhabit, you know. Anyway, though, I want to say, just to finish up, you know, I know there's people and friends of mine too who are going through a hard time now. And I know that it's not okay for everybody to be like on benefits and all that and just be living off benefits while other people slog. But what I will say is that we don't know everybody's situation and stuff in life, and I've never been eligible for any benefits or anything like that. You need certain things for that. But what I'm trying to say is there are people though that are going through a hard time for different reasons, personal reasons and issues, and they need to, you know, save money to actually get by day to day, to support themselves, let alone a family. So I think everybody really needs to be understanding. Even if we look at someone and we judge them and think that person's lazy maybe, or that person's living off their benefits, well, you know, because I hear a lot of people who are judgmental quickly, and I hear a lot of people who are very, you know, proud of their work. Some people work so hard, but they also moan and they say and they complain that they've been working so hard and they're exhausted and they've got no free time and and they talk about themselves as if they're so great, like they do loads of hard work. So okay, if you're proud of it, do it. Don't complain. If you're tired and you don't have to work that much, then don't. You know what I mean? What's the point in just working for more and more money? You can have a big mansion, but you can only sleep in one room, or use one computer, or eat off one dinner plate, you know, or use one phone. You know what I mean? As such. So yeah, it's good to save money, and yes, you want better in your life, but you need to understand, what do you want? Is it an ego? Is it an image? You need people to say, oh, you're hardworking. Can't you just find peace and happiness? Everybody, that's what I mean. So I've got a simple life. I love drawing. I like making animation. I work, but I'm not the kind of person to complain about things like that too much. You know what I mean? So I think we need to think about things like that and think about how we're living in life. And just do what we feel is right for us and what we need, you know what I mean? Because, as I say, you may work really hard, but if you've got enough money to get by and you've got a place to survive and you've got your own place, let's say, your own place to live in, your own bed to sleep in, and you've got enough to support yourself, you know what I mean? And, you've got enough money for food, really, food every day, a roof over your head, you've got a computer, you've got clothes on. You don't need to wear the most expensive clothes and prove it and say, oh, I've got name brands and all this. But you've got clothes. There's people starving in the world. And then there's young people joining gangs and stuff in the hoods in a modern day city or whatever, moaning, saying that they've been let down by the society, and they go around and they rob and they start dealing with drugs and all kinds of negative stuff and destructive stuff. When some of these people have actually got a room, it might be like a very small place to live in, but they do have some money to eat every day. And there's some people in the world that are starving, they've got nothing. So what I'm saying is, nobody should be lazy. Get off your damn fucking ass. Excuse my language. Yes, I understand that, damn it, whatever. Yeah, but the point is, we've got to be fair and understanding to all people, because people have got different situations. It could be health issues, it could be personal issues, certain things why they're struggling, and the countries don't even help their own people in this day and age. You know what I mean? And people don't help each other, and they don't care about each other or really even understand what true living is. When they've got money, they waste it, and when they've got money, they still want to earn more just to prove that there's something, and they're just working their arse off just to cover. It's like an addiction to work. It's almost like an addiction to drugs, addiction to alcohol, addiction to the idea, a number in their mind, money, to prove to everybody they're hardworking. And at the same time, they're exhausted and they're not healthy mentally or physically. They're not even healthy. They're bringing themselves down. You need to understand what you're living for and what you have now, and value that. How much do you need? You can make this, this life better just by finding that peace in yourself. And it's always good, if you want to, of course, save some money for your future, or save some money for something you want to do. You need to work for that, okay. But if you're not happy, you're going to make a change in some way or another. And never compare yourself to others. That's what I think. So that's my fear. I would always fear being homeless, but I never strive to have so much. And that I live a simple life, and I see what I enjoy. My life's quite simple. I like to create. I like to do art, animation on my computer. That's enough for me. And just do some basic exercise, martial arts, And I think it's very scary when I see people homeless, and I think we should, understand people more, is what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm going to say, a message there. Sorry it's a bit dark in this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the lights, okay? HD. Thanks for listening, and sorry for swearing a couple of times, but this is serious, it's real life. Thanks for watching.